Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talk Podcast. Yeah, today we're going to just give you the latest on Manchester United news and updates as well. So basically, Man United, a lot of things have been going on, but we're just going to break it down to a few pointers, and then we're going to give you the conversation or the news that spilled about Varane spilling everything out and all of that. So first and foremost, one of the news that has been breaking over the last couple of days is the one from Chris Wheeler that some players are beginning to lose faith. And this was basically yesterday or 2 days ago. Some players are beginning to lose faith in the Ruben Amorim system as results and performance continue to suffer. The group believe that even when Man UFC win, that it is largely down to individual moments, quality or good fortune rather than tactical triumph. Now, the question I want to ask, because if you say some players, is it the ones that are injured, 12 of them or 13 of them, that are saying the system doesn't work? Or I'm confused and I'm trying to understand. Because you can't come and say, oh, the players are saying that they're beginning to lose faith in the system when they've played multiple systems under multiple managers and head coaches, and they have been able to adapt to these systems. So, and the fundamentals are the same, but the basics are, I mean, the fundamentals are the same, but the formation is different, right? It's just do your job, do what it is, don't switch off. When you get the chance, take it. If we scored all our chances, let's always start where we had created 46 chances and we scored only 42 or something. I mean, and we've scored when we've missed 42 rather. So if we are to go by that, we should be able to try to create as many chances as possible ahead of scoring and winning. But we're not doing that. So if we are creating our chances and scoring our chances, we won't be having these issues. But it is what it is. So yeah, Chris Wheeler reports. I mean, I'm not a fan of them of dressing room breaking news. I don't see it in other against other teams. I don't see it for other teams like Man United, for like Arsenal, like Chelsea, like Liverpool. I don't see that, oh, the dressing room blah blah blah. It's only for Man United, and I don't know why this has to be. Then another news that came up, obviously reported from the Athletic as well as other outlets, that Raphael Varane spilled a lot on what he didn't like about Erik Ten Hag. I'm like, as much as we respect and love Varane, like, why spill out all these things? I know because the man is out of a job, and then what you say this, I mean, to what end? I know that reporters are trying to get as much news as possible, but to what end? So he said he wanted to gain respect through fear, perhaps. He always needed an example of a player who was alone the entire time and was at Manchester. He didn't he did that with at least one important player on the team. He was always in conflict with certain leaders of the group, and that is his way of managing. Okay. Now, we're going to try to read some excerpts from the interview. And I think he probably had that interview with the Athletic. But let's dive in. Let's break it down and see where we can get from here. So we were very instinctive where he was referring to. Okay, let's go straight from the top. So it was under Ancelotti that Varane won the first of his 4 Champions League trophies with Madrid in 2013-14 to complete La Decima, the club's 10th European title, in a setup that allowed each player to express their creativity. According to Varane, he's very close to the players, understands them, and knows how to make them feel comfortable and confident on the pitch, he says of Ancelotti. Now, back at Bernabeu for a second spell that has seen him win 2 more Champions League finals. Now, Varane found Zinedine Zidane, the legendary French player who steered Madrid to 9 trophies as head coach from 2016 to 2018, to be similar. Very calm, positive, always ready to defend his players, when a coach gives his players confidence like that, the players want to reciprocate. Um, with regards to Manchester United, I don't think that is the case because even when the coaches like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have defended the players, never come out to slag the players. They still threw him under the bus. So I don't know. I don't understand how you can be trying to make this comparison. Even in the first season, Varane was there as a leader. Then I got issues with Cristiano Ronaldo. That one was obvious for everyone to see. But to now say, that he's having issues with every key player, I mean, that issue was obviously there for all to see. If Ronaldo didn't disrespect Ten Hag, I don't think that he will be probably playing in Saudi Pro League. He probably have helped us play the last season that Ten Hag had, basically, and would have helped us win some trophies along the way, right? So, according to Varane, he said, we were a very instinctive team. That's why I consider it in an art. It's not robotic. Okay. There are always surprises. An action that worked one time may not work again. You always have to reinvent, rediscover, adapt. And that's the kind of coaching setup that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had with Manchester United. And it didn't work. Go out there and express yourself. Now, Varaste said, what was remarkable to Varane was that Madrid players barely spoke to each other on the pitch. This was what the reporter was analyzing and says everyone knew exactly what they had to do. Sometimes we pressed, sometimes we didn't, and in fact, nobody gave a signal. There were matches that for the first 30 minutes you sensed things weren't going well. We were blocked, and the space was elsewhere. We changed without talking. Madrid were flexible in their setup, unpredictable in terms of approach. Now, if you look at the Madrid setup that Varane had at the time, you could tell that that's a group of players that have been playing for a long time, especially with him and Sergio Ramos. They've won trophies together, even with Casemiro. They've played for a long time together. So some things are instinctive and you don't expect anyone to tell you, but it is what it is. So Madrid were flexible and in their setup, unpredictable in terms of approach. Now, according to Varane, he says when you started the match, you didn't know exactly how you were going to play. We didn't just play or press one way. Sometimes we attacked even when we didn't expect to. But we saw an opening and went for it. Yeah. Varane's time at Madrid versus the change in times. If Varane played under Guardiola, these are not the things he's going to be saying because there's a structure to how certain teams play in this time and age. So now he said the build up to in that article said the build up to United's 2-1 victory, however, was dominated by uncertainty over Ten Hag's future. The manager admitted after the game that he didn't know whether it had been his last match in charge, but following an end of season review led by United's new co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos Business Empire's sporting director Sir Dave Brailsford, Ten Hag was kept on. I was surprised he stayed, says Varane. Like, are you serious? Anyway, I was surprised he stayed, says Varane. The connection with the group no longer existed. According to Varane, Ten Hag did not offer him an explanation for leaving him out other than it was for the best of the team. So probably there was some cliques and some stuff that were forming in the team, and then obviously Ten Hag didn't like it, and he wanted to ensure that Varane was basically on the same page as other players. So yeah. Then he said, and then this is the reason why they had the clash. He said, we had a robust conversation. We told each other some truths. Okay. but I didn't play for almost 2 months. I said I didn't agree with certain ways of doing things regarding the relationship between him and the team. We don't know what the ways of doing things he's referring to are, but it is what it is. I said I didn't agree with certain ways of doing things. It wasn't something that I thought was good for the team because some of the players weren't at all satisfied. It was not good in terms of the relationship with the coach. Everybody is paid to come and do their job. Nobody's coming to look for a relationship. I'm, I'm trying to make sense of some of these. Like, yeah, it makes sense based on he's so experienced. He's won multiple Champions League, including Casemiro experienced, won multiple Champions Leagues. What is everybody talking about? So yeah, but also let's not forget that half the time Varane was unavailable because he was injured. There was a game where he came back and he came to play, and he was injured for the most part of that, of that season. But he came back and still got injured again. So, yeah, talking about relationship with the coach. He said, "Okay, I hear what you said." And after that, I didn't play. Well, everybody, it's a clash of egos, right? You maybe the manner of approach must have been the issue with the way he said it to Ten Hag, whatever the case, you know. So Varane did not feel that Ten Hag was making an example of him, but he did with other players and cited Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho examples. That's what that you see. This is where we're trying to get to. It was good that we're trying to break this down from top to bottom. So he believes Ten Hag wanted to gain respect through fear, perhaps. Oh my days. Oh my days. Why don't you guys just get to work, man? He always needed an example of a player who was alone the entire time he was at Manchester United. He did that with at least one important player on the team. So we can take it from another angle and say, okay, he wanted to deal with, well, he needed to make an example of a player who was always alone. What does that mean? That everybody needs to be together to be in the group. I mean, there are times when Erik Ten Hag would come to press conference and outrightly defend players, defend everything, and then probably try to deal with it in house. And the one time he did that against Cristiano Ronaldo, things fell out. He never said anything crazy about Cristiano Ronaldo. It was more of a situation where Cristiano Ronaldo disrespected Ten Hag and walked out on the team, as well as Sancho disrespecting Ten Hag and posting stuff on social media. So for one to be alone and not part of the squad, I mean, look at Rashford. Just because you are not responding to your teammates a certain way, you got kicked out of the team. That is what the news is carrying, right? And that's what Ruben Amorim has said. So basically, he did that with at least one important player on the team. He always he was always in conflict with certain leaders of the group, and that is his way of managing. And basically, Erik Ten Hag was then named the next permanent manager. This was based, as far back as 2022, to take over in that summer, and his coaching style was a stark contrast to Varane's Madrid experience, basically. So you can tell it was the opposite. He says, with fairly rigid patterns of play defined in advance. There was very little flexibility in terms of adapting on the pitch. The game plans were very, very precise. Huh. That's a positive for Erik Ten Hag. That's a very good positive. With lots and lots of information, it was different. So what are we saying here? This is a very revealing interview. As an instinctive player, Varane preferred more autonomy, which he had at his previous club and with France. We would say to each other, you have to do it more like this, instead of a system that was, let's say, a bit blocked by the coach's instruction. Varane describes his relationship with Ten Hag as a bit idiosyncratic. It's hard to find the right words. It was very tense at times. Sometimes he made an effort to listen to players' feedback. Sometimes he made decisions without listening to the players' feelings. So there were ups and downs, and it's complicated at times. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, United report on X summarized it by saying Raphael Varane on what happened according to the Athletics FC. The Athletics, um, Raphael Varane on what happened between him and Ten Hag between October and December 2023. We had a robust discussion, as I said earlier in that article. We told each other some truths, but then I didn't play for almost 2 months. I said I didn't agree with certain ways of doing things regarding the relationship between him and the team. It wasn't something that I thought was good for the team because some of the players weren't at all satisfied. It was not good in terms of relationship with the coach. He said, "Okay, I hear what you said." And after that, I didn't play for 2 months. So, yeah, probably stood up to the coach and didn't have a proper diplomatic conversation and expected that, okay, as a senior player, he's going to be listened to, but wasn't. So, it is what it is. We are here. We are dealing with the aftermath of it. He left the team at the end of his contract, or left the club at the end of the contract, and has since then gotten injured, and retired. So I wish Varane all the best, but spilling this like this, it's not good for the optics, especially from the point of Ten Hag. I mean, it's gone, it's gone. It's the past, it's the past. Let that part of your life just be gone. But it is what it is. Let me know what you think about this revealing interview and the report on The Athletic. For more information on more of these, please go check The Athletic and subscribe and read more on this interview. But then, thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Thank you so much, and let me know what your thoughts and feelings about this. And I'll see you on the next one, especially with, I think the next video should be the press conference review. So let me know what you think about this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.